Oh look, it's summer, it's time for a summer getaway. And what better place to spend it than inside a cave? Crypt, finally. After God knows how many years since this spot was released, I'm finally here to review it. Long after people are no longer really interested to grind it, which is a shame because the spot seems pretty good. Also, don't mind me, I'm just beautifully showcasing the summer getaway outfit because let's just say, you see, if you like it, go and get it from the apparel shop because I'm late as always. You know, BDO partner duties. That said, how is Crypt? Let's get the boring stuff out of the way quickly. Crypt is a spot that currently, with the current AP caps as they work for now, has 830 AP cap with 70% after that, so no real cap to say, just whatever AP you have, the more the better. And it's a Kama species damage spot, so just use Kama artifacts and Kama Sylvian draft, and that's about it. I started grinding here when I had 327 AP, but with all of the Crown Stones we got from Heidel Ball and my for once luck that actually works when I don't pity my accessories, now I have 338 AP. It did get better, but in actual practice I didn't really see any trash per hour increase from my extra AP. If you look at Garmoth global data, you are inclined to believe that aiming for 20,000 trash per hour here is big, like that's the big numbers, the big boy speeds, and I used to believe that as well. Somehow I am able to grind here at 24,000 trash per hour, and I got all the way up to 25, maybe with the increase in AP, but most likely with just a bit more practice on the spot. I spent 7 hours here in total, which you would think is, oh, not enough now, I grind 6 hours a day, duo, that's like nothing. Nah, it's enough to review the spot, just trust me on that. And mechanics, how do you get 24,000 trash? How do you get the most out of this spot? It's pretty simple. Don't use Marnie Room. Marnie Room forces you to do the main rotation, the main room. I don't even know if this spot officially has more than one grindable rotation, but just don't use Marnie Room. Grind out of Marnie, extend by going downstairs. If you look in the background, I will most likely put a fast forwarded video or something so you can see the most of the rotation. Just extend downstairs and then come back upstairs once you clear the downstairs. There's like 3 or 4 packs there. That's number 1, and number 2, make sure you kill all of the elites. There's basically 4 of them in total, but you don't really have to keep track of which is which. There's the bear and then the wolf. Those are the elites in quotation marks. Then you have the Dark Knight, which is a mini boss but kind of very squishy, and then very rarely you get this one. I forgot what name it has, Raz something, the actual boss, which doesn't spawn every hour, maybe once every other hour, and that one obviously drops the most stuff and is the tankiest one to kill. I always tried to prioritize killing them, even if I had to wait, you know, slowing down my rotation, because I wasn't sure if they would despawn if I go downstairs and just leave the room, or if their HP would reset. Most likely that would happen for sure. So just extend the rotation and make sure you kill the elites every time. As for the actual grinding, I started by pulling one pack into another, because I've seen other people grinding like that. Maybe outdated videos, maybe whatever I saw from months or years ago on YouTube. I started doing that, but then towards the end, the last 2 hours, I just did pack by pack, just one pack, kill it, next pack, kill it. I just stopped pulling, and I saw no decrease in trash per hour. If anything, the last 2 hours were the ones that got me 25,000 trash, so maybe some of the improvement came from that. Point being, it doesn't seem to matter how you grind. And now let's look at some numbers. Starting with the thing you've already seen, Garmoth global data. People seem to average garbage trash per hour by my standards now, but let's just say it's that, 1.6 billion per hour with maxed out 320% drop rate according to Garmoth, because from what I've seen in game now the cap is 340. 1.2 belts per hour average at this speed. For my Garmoth entries, the 7 hours, this hour here, the last one, is actually the first. It's the one I used on the top 32 grinding spot videos, so if you care about orders, this is the first one, and then from here second, third, just pretend you move this one at the bottom, right? I started with 24,000 trash, and then it kind of stayed around 24, slowly inching up until the last let's say 2 hours. This one converts to also 25, and then this one is the best. The 40 minutes hour session, it's not exactly an hour, was on Agris, Yellow and Agris, to test Agris Efficiency before they rework that mechanic entirely. You know, it's still nice to know for now. So obviously more trash, and then I tested Agris Coin as well, just to make sure it works on everything. The coin works on the elites and the bosses. Agris itself doesn't work on elites and bosses. 2.2 billion per hour average with, you know, the hours the way they look without equalizing the trash. I got one Limbo CL drop, one thingamajiggy lung drop for the costume if it's relevant, a bunch of these, and how many belts? 1.8 average per hour. Now, with that out of the way, it's time for the real numbers, the stuff I can play with and equalize and, you know, manipulate. Excel, let's start with the money, the silver stuff. The Duodecil accessories seem to fluctuate. I'm very casual and not exactly up to date with what's going on nowadays, but they seem to have gone up in price for a little bit and now they are going down somewhat, but they seem to be pricey at the moment, which might be why the spot is worth 2.2 billion per hour. Regardless, trash per hour, just in yellow converted, even the coin. This is the Agris Coin session, and this one is the 40 minutes I did on Agris, also converted into yellow. Kafras also seem to have gone up in price, most likely because of Heidel Ball and the announcements for the offhand. Everyone just wants C20 Kutum, I assume, which is nice. You get a decent amount of Kafras here, blah blah blah. You can just stare at this if you want. The important stuff, if I zoom out a little bit and make everything much smaller, is so I can show you the conversions if you plan to convert loot scroll stuff. With a baseline of yellow loot scroll, I averaged 24.4, and if you convert them into blue plus Agris, yellow plus Agris, this is how it looks like. Just like most spots where Agris doesn't work on the bosses, it's not very straight up, you know, you have to do weird math. And same with Agris itself, it seems like at least the gargoyle, like one monster, doesn't use the same amount of points as the others, so not every monster burns the same amount. Regardless, from those 40 minutes I spent grinding with Agris, I tracked all of the bosses and elites that I killed, so I can eliminate the trash that doesn't scale with Agris, and then I can say if you're using yellow and Agris, if that's how you grind, that's your hour, and you get 37,000 trash, then 16% of that trash doesn't scale with Agris, so you have to take it out if you plan to do conversions. If it's the other way around and you grind with yellow and you want to convert it into Agris or something, if that is your baseline, then 25% of your trash has to be, you know, removed so you can convert properly. Maybe it will make a bit more sense if I show you something like this. So you take your total trash, you remove the elite trash, so you just have mob trash in total, and then you convert it. If this is with Agris, Agris is, well, yellow and Agris, 3.44, you make it yellow, and then on top of that you add the stuff you just removed, the elite trash. That's what I did to come up with these numbers. And then conclusions, with 25,000 trash being currently my best and what I will assume is official speed, because PA gives us more and more AP as time goes on, so I'm pretty sure in a couple of weeks or months this will be the norm here. For Agris Efficiency, you probably already saw this, you've stared at the only number you really care about, 130 points used per hour, so makes sense, you cannot grind here a proper hour, a full hour on Agris, but if you're gonna use it, it's about this much efficiency wise before they changed the system. And if I compare this to the other spots I got to test in the past, then it's here. Not much else to say, right? It's trash. Don't use Agris here, it's a waste until they completely rework the system. Experience and skill points. Is this place good to level up? Not really, no. If I search for it, because I don't even know where it is in the list, if ranked 43, no. This is after I scaled it up to 25.4 thousand trash per hour, because once again, I've said this many times, I started this big experience project like almost 2 years ago and I just slowly lost interest to actually finish it. Some of these clearing speeds may need to be higher nowadays, but even so, with Crypt at 25, it's trash, right? It's bad. Just don't bother. Same with skill points, just as actually more trash. So completely forget about leveling up here. Agris Coin. I should have put this next to the Agris section, but rules are meant to be broken. Crypt is about here. Same story as with the experience chart. Some areas may need to be a little bit faster in clearing speed, in all fairness, but Crypt seems to be pretty good. If you have a bunch of Agris coins and you want to burn them somewhere, it's not a waste. The only column you care about is this one for the new people. The money, the silver you make only from the Agris coin itself. Loot scroll efficiency. This one is fairly straightforward despite all of the numbers you see on screen. Monsters drop two types of trash, well, two numbers of trash, 4 and 5, right? Mobs drop either this or this trash, so then basically the loot scroll scaling is 3.45 for monsters. For the elites it's obviously perfectly 50% because they drop a bajillion amount of trash. Rarely the gargoyle or some mob drops less trash. Instead of 14 or 17 it drops 10, so because of that I dropped this one from 45 to 44 scaling on the blue loot scroll. We plop in our money per hour, trash per hour, you know, what we just talked about earlier, and then it will split the income into trash and then rare items. So then I can see the differences between yellow and blue loot scroll, right? If in theory, blue loot scroll is 100% because you use one of them, and yellow is supposed to be 200% efficiency because you have to use two of them, 2 loot scrolls per hour. Obviously that's never gonna happen. In this case it's 50%. Use whichever one you want. You can grind here with blue or yellow, it's up to you. And lastly, Maids. At 24,000 trash per hour, you need 24.5 maids. It's actually very interesting how the number is the same. To grind here without needing a horse or to go somewhere, you know, just to keep grinding and using maids. If you use an Agris coin and you get 37,000 trash per hour, you need, wow, big surprise, 37 maids. It makes it look so stupid when the math is so straightforward. And yeah, that brings us to conclusion, ending thoughts, and more money per hour actually. You see, there's also this one that I can show you. If you remember, a while back I decided to take all of the spots I tested myself with my clearing speeds at that time when I made those videos and plop them in a ranking style just like this to see where I made the most money. Crypt so far seems to be the third most profitable spot for me, just on par with Big Cave when I tested Big Cave. I would say that's a big success. I made more money than Garmoth says I should at Crypt. 2.1, almost 2.2 here versus the big project that I just made where I took Garmoth data and scaled those, the Garmoth average numbers, I scaled those up to match my clearing speed. I used 24 for Crypt, which was rated at 1.8 billion. Maybe with more hours my luck will average better, 7 hours, maybe I got slightly RNG carried with the belts, maybe not. I know this is a little bit irrelevant for Crypt in particular, but something I do look back on from the big top 32 grinding spots video is that as soon as I made it, obviously it was Heidel Ball, and guess what happened immediately after Heidel Ball? Caphras went to max value, from being worth like 1.5 million silver to straight up 3, now they are like 2.5, so every spot that drops Caphras from here is worth a bit more nowadays. It's not 1.8, it's like 1.9, maybe other things like the Debo belts also went up in values, so I could update all of the prices here, but that's neither here nor there. I will just wait until stuff stabilizes. They rework the grinding spots, they rework Agris and all of that, and to be fair, lately I am pretty busy with real life stuff and job stuff and all that, but yeah, I made it. That's Crypt. I've been here, I tried it, I grinded it, it's nice, honestly, so it's a surprising spot. I'm curious how this one will feel after they change the species damage and the AP caps and all of that. I wonder if this spot will become faster or slower. And with that, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your patience if you made it all of this all the way to the end of the video. Like it if you enjoyed it, just because I said so. Have a good rest of your day, and bye bye. See you next time.